shit crack.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? Hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I am the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be doing my interpretation of Mercury and Aquarius. Um, I think Mercury will be in Aquarius soon too, because it's currently in Capricorn. So if you listen to Mercury in Capricorn, and you have that transit, you're having a Mercury return, um, which is just a reflection, a time of reflection on those topics. It's a good time to sit down and check in and see where you kind of are with your communication around those themes and what you want to fix, what you want to take away, how you want to do better, and all those types of things. That's all any kind of return is. Um, mhm. You are a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces sun sign if you have this placement. Mercury rules our communication, how we make decisions, how we process information, our level of intelligence. It's our analytical skills, um, how we learn. Um, it's also our speech, our speaking voice, intellectual conversations, memory, and comprehension. This placement for me is borderline kind of like there's a part of me that wants to say Scorpio because these people can be extremely freaking smart, but they're also again on that autism spectrum where they're either too smart for their own good and they get into like dentist and dentist trouble or Curious George trouble or fuck around and invent something and become fucking famous. Um, or you're super conservative, you know, you're old and you're used to sticking to the way things have been done in areas that could be kind of like detrimental to your progress. Um, Aquarius is a fixed air sign. And so that air energy is where you get that conservative from. Um, Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, can be enduring, stable, rational, and social. Aquarius also rules your hopes and wishes, your desire to network with the masses. Um, from the Uranus perspective, it can be very scientific facts, and it doesn't have to be scientific. I think the thing to remember when we're talking about Mercury and really any of these transits is that, like, not all of us, especially for me, because I'm usually focused on um, the Black people and Black culture. And so we don't always get the best knowledge and education, so a lot of us aren't really scientific, which can lead us into being a little bit more inventive by way of esoteric kind of ways or alternative health kind of ways. So somebody who makes products, they're scientists in that kind of way. Not like the scientists like we see uh, you know, you know, um talking about maybe more specific things, which, by the way, family, it doesn't mean that you do not have the ability to be that. But again, because a lot of the education we learn, which is Mercury, by the way, is your childhood education. Um, it's gonna depend. It's all that education that we get is to teach us how to be consumers. So there's something that we don't have that's helping us be scientific in nature. Um, I hope that, people know that and don't let that deter you from challenging yourself to learn more. I think with that being said, um, Aquariuses will either be like the internet, Google is their Bible, where they'll do some deep research and have facts when they speak about any fucking topic, right? It does not have to be science, it could be anything. Um, or they absolutely freaking hate the internet. They're completely off the grid and paranoid as fuck. And they're still coming with some facts for you. But these people might learn and read again, deep research. They're self-made, self-taught here. But they also know how and where to get information, whether that's through their elders or culture, um, or they teach themselves or learn from other educated folk. And this is how they love, when they give you facts and things like that. Trust and believe this is them showing you love and emotions. From the Uranus perspective, this also rules technology, any kind of innovative, progressive, forward future or forward oriented devices. Um, this is all Aquarius and Gemini put together. So when you put this here, this is double time. Um, Technology and innovation, electricity, even um, and like aha moments or genius ideas. Um, they think outside of the box. These people are very eccentric in nature. Um, it also they are very humanitarian folk, and everybody can agree that, these people are individualistic people, which, you know, yes, but I don't know, I just feel like before we just go ahead and leave it like that, there needs to be more said to that. Obviously, you're more likely to be like this the more Aquarius placements you have. Um, but not everybody. Okay, that's not a entirety. Um, because I think these people love to be around people, especially if they're learning something. People around, if they're around people that they can learn from or they're of like mind. Um, and these people are amazing friendships. These people can hold amazingly long-term friendships. They never, ever, 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 ever give up on their friends. You got to do some serious BS to lose an Aquarius as a friend. And I'm going to be like all the way honest with you. Even if you do after some time, they're not going to hold a grudge. They'll eventually get over it and possibly be able to, um, shake hands with you again and shoot the shit with you, although they'll probably never trust you again, but still. Um, so you always want to look at Saturn and Uranus whenever you're talking about Aquarius because it's ruled by both signs. Saturn is the modern ruler, And it's Uranus, I mean, Saturn is the ancient or traditional ruler, and Uranus is the modern ruler. Saturn is kind of cold and distant, broad-minded, future-oriented. It's about the status quo, um, what's popular, what's accepted in an era or history. It's also boundaries. Um, they can be pretty dogmatic in their beliefs. Again, going back to that conservative, and I think it's between conservative and liberal. So dogmatic facts are when they get into that kind of fixed energy or even Saturn energy, where they're like, what I said is right, and that's that. Um, and then you have the same thing with the conservative. Well, conservative is more like they're sticking to an old way of doing thing and they're not open to doing things in a new way. And then the liberal people are the ones who are open to others' opinions. These are probably more so of the people who are of the digital era where they are, internet. Google is their freaking Bible. Um, yeah. These people are trendsetters, they typically kind of influence the culture, political as well, for certain, not all. Um, they can be rebellious. I have a few different people here who I think kind of represents kind of what uh, Aquarius energy is, and they have Mercury in Aquarius. That's Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Oprah, Michael Jordan, Dr. Dre, Muhammad Ali. Um, and I have to say this because most people won't see it as a very goth-like Saturn part, that darker energy, the more rebellious energy, off the beaten path energy, kind of Marilyn Manson, Bob Marley. They're all trailblazers, as the first to accomplish something that had never been done before. They're very iconic influencers. Um, these people can communicate to big crowds of people or large institutions regarding things that are logical proof in the real world. This is why I like esoteric information because what I think esoteric does to astrology and things that can't be explained is that it brings it to the modern everyday world and it really breaks it down even further so as to say a story on how any of these divinations are being played out in real life in reality, which is all about Saturn, by the way. Um, and Aquariuses are gonna challenge you with this. They're definitely people who push back, even though Aquarius rules astrology. Not necessarily esoteric. Again, it's more scientific. So very Saturnized in that way where there's a practical tool where I think esoteric is more Pisces, and we'll talk about that more spiritual aspect when we get to Pisces, Mercury and Pisces. But um they're like so this will be somebody who studies astrology, but they study the plant through the planets, and they have different kind of software for this too. When I tell you there are 1,001 different ways you can do astrology, I promise you, family, there are 1,001 different ways that astrology can be talked about and used as a tool of education and such. And so they have this software. Forgive me for not knowing the name of it. It's really dope, but it's the same thing um as astrology, but they talk about it using the constellations in the sky, and they have software that shows you this. It's so fucking dope. It's really dope. I wish I knew the name of it, but if it's not that way of doing astrology, these people are going to do it from a historical point of view, like the modern astrology. This is probably even more Vedic if you want to get technical, but some people might fight back on that, so I'm going to leave that alone. Or they actually just study um the planets, which, whether you want to believe it or see it that way or not, dude, it's still astrology. So, we can have a whole argument on that. I'm not going to do that. But an Aquarius, a Mercury and Aquarius person is going to challenge you on your beliefs and your facts, right? They want the facts. They want to hear the facts. And so they'll push you until they see the evidence, until they deem it as evidence. Um, and so these are people who will come with like statistics, charts, and things of that nature. These are your global warming people who are going to come and speak to you from a governmental level as to why, this needs not be a thing and it should be addressed and why it should be fixed, all that. Or not fixed, but addressed, or they'll even and or they'll have solutions to it. I think we're going to hear a lot more about these types of things in the age of Aquarius. But yeah. Yep. Now, on the lower vibration, these people can be hard-headed and only promote their point of view. Um, there are the biggest freaking conspiracy theorists outside of Scorpio. Um, they will dismiss you and make you feel dumb because these people are typically extremely intelligent. Again, going back to that autism spectrum, they just know things, you know. Um, yeah, I think that about covers it. Family as usual. I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.